Janice Yvette, hey raindrops, it's Pride Month. Let's give Carlos some grace on the lateness. Happy Pride to my raindrops, to the gays and the theys, or whatever you are. No, no labels here. Okay, we got Miss Foodie. I love Claudia's opinion. I do too. Sober Black Mom. I know that's right, Sober Black Mom. Anthony Buchanan, Carlos, what does Pride Month mean to you personally? Oh, that's a good question, Anthony. Listen, as an openly gay Black man, hi, Nathaniel. I'm just happy to be alive. I'm happy to listen. I am grateful, and this is some real tea. I'm grateful and thankful that I'm able to live a life out loud and I don't have to hide my sexuality in fear of being exposed or being uncomfortable. Everybody has their own journey. Let's state that. But I, at my big age, I'm just happy that I no longer have to act like, well, first of all, child, I was acting like this at 5 years old, which is why my father clocked my teeth. So I'm gonna tell y'all a quick coming out story. This is Pride Month. And we're gonna talk about Claudia's coming out story too. I'm joking with Claudia. Okay, anyways, so let me tell y'all a quick coming out story. So I've always been me, right? So I was in preschool. This is a true story. I'm not lying. I was in preschool, so I was like 4. And my father, who is still alive and who I take care of, hi dad, he is a very Detroit Black man. Okay. Mary Tucker, I did see it last night. We'll talk about that too. So long story short, my father nickname was Joe Jackson because my father is tough. Long story short, I'm 4 years old, getting ready for preschool, and I'm putting on my Green Bay Packers coat because when you're a boy, your parents dress you up in sports paraphernalia, although you never hit a ball until you're 25. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother time. So, anyways, so I'm getting ready, and I approach my father like this. Broken wrist. So I'm like, Dad, I'm ready. And he goes, put your wrist down. And I'm like, what did I do wrong? So at 4 years old, I'm like, I don't know what I did, but I knew it was bad. So long story short, my mother, may she rest in peace, I was maybe around 7. And my mother said, come here. Do not do that because your father's going to have attitude. And I said, why? He said, because your father thinks you act like a girl. And I was like, okay. So I knew something was not right with acting like a girl as a boy. So later in life, my father at 18, I'm 18 years old, and my father asked me, he said, are you gay? And I've always had this sassy ass mouth. I rolled my eyes at him and said, what? You heard what I said, are you gay? And I said, nope, because I knew that would irritate him. And he said, you better tell me the truth or I'm not going to accept it. I said, I'm not. And then I told my mother, and my mother kept my secret for years. So my father found out I was gay when I was 30 because I was working with Oprah Winfrey, shooting behind the scenes of the final season of her talk show. So I came up to my mom. My mom every year would be like, when are you going to come out to your father? And I was like, girl, he don't need to know nothing. So anyways, I'm working with Oprah. We're taping behind the scenes. Oprah and her team are talking about Terry McMillan's husband. and whether or not he's gay, whatever. I mean, him coming out as gay. Oprah had a question. She says, there are gay men in the room. My producer said, go in. Oprah's looking for a gay man. And I'm like, I work behind the scenes. So I walk in and Oprah and I had a conversation about gay men. The producer of the show said, we're going to air this. And I said, on national television. So I called my mother and she said, you have to tell your father you're gay before the world finds out. So again, living in fear. So I was like, girl, I don't know about all that. So I'll never forget this. January, I think 2nd of 2010, they aired the episode. And my mother's calling me. She's like, you're not going to tell your father that you're about to come out on national television to Oprah Winfrey? And I said, Mom, I don't feel like it. So the episode airs because my father and my mom, they watch all my shows. So my father watched it, and no shade, like most Black fathers, we don't address it. So that evening, my father goes on Facebook because Facebook is your Black parents and grandparents' way of communication. So he goes on Facebook and he goes and says, I'm so proud of my son, Carlos King, for being brave and being himself. I love him and I'm proud to be his dad. That's a story. Until this day, we never talked about it. So I saw the Facebook message and was like, thanks. So that's the story. Happy Pride Month. All right, enough about me. I do want to hear more coming out stories, but I am not the one to make people do anything they don't want to do. But in the comments, if you would like to share with me, it's a beautiful story, right? Claudia! My father knew at 4 years old when I'm wearing a Green Bay Packers coat. And I'm like, so that Barbie coat my sister gets to wear? I'm teasing. I was not. No, that's a joke. That's a joke. All right. So thank you, Dana Cooper. So I hope you guys enjoyed the story. I will say this, though. To all of the kids or teenagers, okay, thanks, Mary Tucker, who are watching this, I will say this. Black mama knows. There's not one Black mama who don't know their child is gay. It is. Black mothers know. So if you're in the closet, my advice is at least tell your mother. Your mother already knows child because she knows her child, and Black mothers will be the ones, large percentage-wise, because everybody's situation is different, but more than 90% of Black mothers will understand and accept it and help you through. So there you go. And Black sisters. Black sister. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed that story. I am telling you all my business on this Monday Night Live. All right, but I love it though. Okay. So speaking of my wonderful friends, let's bring in the beautiful Claudia Jordan and the very handsome Dustin Ross.
What's up, love? Happy Pride, y'all.
Happy Pride Month. I missed you guys.
We missed the hell out of you too, Claudia. It's good to have you back where you belong. Okay, right up here in your spot. What's up, girl?
I heard Carlos try to out me before. He said my coming out.
He said you was coming out of something.
You know what's funny? On my trip in St. Martin, it was an echo. My girls were all over each other. They were having, like
Alex,
just drunk girl gay moment. Like they were like, and I think one of my friends,
like, was it with tongue?
No, but they were definitely all over each other. You guys hear an echo?
No.
Okay,
no.
They were all over each other, and I had to I was like, listen, y'all are like two of my closest friends, and I can't have this because if it goes left, y'all gonna be complaining, both of y'all, to me, and I have to hear it from both sides. So I said, just keep me the hell out of it. But anyways, Lovely story, Carlos, and it's hilarious that you thought your dad didn't know.
No, he knew at 4. I was just listen.
I know Carlos's first word was. I already know what your first word was.
What?
Yes, I think that was your first word was yes with like 10 S's. Like honestly, Carlos.
No. The thing is this. I will say this. Everybody's different, right? Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this when it comes to me, Carlos King. From the womb, I have always been loud, expressive, and just I've always been everything you see today. This
Yeah.
is not an act. You can ask anybody who went to high school with me. Shout out to Finney High School. Yes, the school did get burned down, but shout out to my class of '97 folks. Claudia, don't judge Michigan. We're on a come up. It's a renaissance.
I love.
But you know, I've always been this.
Yeah.
And that's why I encourage everybody to just continue operating in your authentic self, and it does get better.
I would love to see the photo of you in the Green Bay Packers jacket. Is that what you said you had on? I need that. We need that now. Like I need to see that.
With them Wendy Williams hands. But I you know, me personally, I'm not at this point in my life, you know, first of all, I was 25 years old when my parents found out what was up. And when I even first started fucking around like that anyway, I was a late bloomer. And so
I was 25 too when I started.
Yeah, I was 20. Well, I was 25 when they found out. And that's when I started like hanging out and shit. I was like 22 first time I messed around with a nigga. But like, I don't know, you know, I'm never gonna be the uncomfortable person in a room. Me being gay is just about how I'm having sex, and there's so much more to me than that. And I'm by no means diminishing that because I don't give a fuck. Who knows? My mom and daddy know, so I really could give a fuck how you feel about it. And so I'm one of the ones that's different. You know, I guess they call us new school gays. I'm not embarrassed about nothing. I'm not ashamed of nothing about me. And I will literally shine the spotlight on you before you shine it on me. So happy Pride to everybody. Throw that brick like Marsha did. You know what I'm saying? Marsha P. Johnson. Throw that motherfucking brick. It's Pride time, y'all. That's it.
And also the people, everyone that's in the community, I know these are tough times right now. I've definitely been down for a very long time. I remember being on a radio show with Jimmy Fox back in the day where there was a lot of people, there was a lot of misogyny on that show. And some of the people on that show were very much against when the issue of gay marriage came up. And I was like a fierce advocate way back then. And to see how far we've come only for this administration to try to go back on that. Yeah. I implore you all to stay strong, to be in touch with your local congressmen. Don't let them play in your face. Don't let them roll back civil rights, because a lot of times they like to experiment with y'all first, with your community first, with rights, and then just trickle it on down to women and Black folks. And a lot of times the gay community is on the forefront of when they try it, and they try it with y'all. So please stay strong and don't let them play in your face. And we got your back.
Yep, and beat ass. Don't take no shit. That's my gay advice. Don't take no shit. Don't let nobody play with you. Beating the motherfucker's ass. Stomp faces in. Break arms. Do everything you got to do to protect yourself and ride for yours. Ain't nobody gonna mistreat you for how you like to fuck. It's really that simple. It's a respect issue. You have respect, general respect for people. Treat people kind. And when they don't treat you that way, get in their ass. That's my pride message.
I never understood why people care so much about what does not affect them. And all too often we see, usually with these Republicans, the ones that are so fiercely against the rights of the gay community are the main ones that have all the stuff in their closet where they're fighting their cats, where they're fighting their own feelings. You know what I mean? And it's like, but why would you hurt the community that you're really deep down a part of? Like, I just don't get that. You know?
Yeah, that's why we don't have time for it.
Yeah, no, listen, I think at the end of the day, it's one of those things where, not to, be a preacher, watch Soulful Sundays for that, child, my YouTube channel. But what I will say is, I am a very proud, openly gay man. I love being gay, and
me too.
Listen, I'm gonna say this, that's gonna sound controversial. I don't care, because at my big age, miss me with all the BS. I am grateful to God that He made me gay.
Same, 100%.
I didn't ask to be Black. I didn't ask to have a receding hairline. I didn't ask to have this voice, and I didn't ask to be gay or Black. So I am everything that God created in His image, And for me, I love being Black as much as I love being gay. And I think when you have two minorities, because gay people and Black people, we are forever minorities in the situation. I think at the end of the day, we should all find common ground when it comes to the ways we can support each other. Because gay people do stand up for Black Lives Matter. And what I
First ones
don't
to do
want,
it.
yeah, like we advocate for Black women with the injustice they face. We advocate for Black Lives Matter. The only thing I ask in return is when there's a LGBTQIA plus issue, I don't want my Black folks to be like, well, that's y'all issue.
Yeah.
Because that's not fair, because as a gay person who is Black, things that happen to Black people affect me because I'm Black first and foremost, obviously. But if your Black gay brother and sister are dealing with something, then it's a us issue. That's it.
Yeah.
That's why it usually becomes Black women and gay men,
Yeah.
Black gay men,
Arm in arm.
an allyship usually. Although
Yep.
there's a lot of people that try to drive a wedge and say it's not, but that's not the case, because I be at those marches and I see what's going down and who's
No, Claudia's definitely an ally. And
hell yeah.
there's proof for that. All right, look at us getting all deep, pun intended. How was your weekend, Dustin? You had a great show in Seattle. Did you meet any Seattle raindrops? Did you meet any Seattle Dustinators?
Actually, I did meet some raindrops. There were some raindrops at my Seattle show that told me they love what we do on Monday nights here. So that felt so good. Much love to them. Seattle showed me so much love. I had a great time. They got great weed in Seattle and it's legal. I had a great time. The theater I performed at was called the Triple Door. Incredible performance venue. Great team that made the process so easy. So shout out to everybody at the Triple Door in Seattle. They got a lineup of great shows coming up too. So if you're in that area, check them out. But it was a great show. I had so much fun on stage. And up next, we got LA on June 12th and Chicago on June 14th. So we on the road with it, man. And I love getting on stage talking shit. It is so much fun. Claudia, you did not tell me that stand-up comedy was that damn fun. It is so much fun.
And you're thriving. You got a whole tour. Like, that's amazing. Once you get up there once and you like feel like you overcame any kind of fear, don't you feel like invincible now? Like you could literally do anything.
Yeah. And I like to challenge myself when I'm on stage and do crowd work and kind of pivot from what I already wrote just to keep myself fresh. And that part is really, really fun for me. You know what that's like, because you used to get down on Foxhole and on the stage. And you know what that quick, witty retort is like, them callbacks and shit. That's where the magic is when it comes to comedy. So I'm learning a lot. I am growing, just really, really excited and grateful. I can't believe motherfuckers be buying tickets to hear me talk shit. That is crazy. And then when you see your name on the marquee, all of that shit is just wild. And I'm really grateful. So great.
And you deserve it. You deserve it. Okay, so before we get to Housewives, there's a question.
We gotta find about Claudia weekend.
Oh, Claudia, how was your weekend? I saw somebody was with a ex, which is why I want to answer the question that DH is asking.
Me and my ex are like the best of friends. So I went up to Saya, which is like a hookah lounge out here, and they have Mediterranean food. So my ex had a bunch of his friends in town, so he went. They were inside, and me and my girls outside. And I was kind of introducing one of his friends to my friends and trying to see. But we're always gonna be the best of friends. And then another guy came to town that I'm friends with named Terrence. He's one of those guys from the Salt and Pepper Gang. Really good looking guy, just a friend. But everybody was in my comments like, "Wait, what's happening here?" I threw them both up on my page so y'all would not think that I was with neither one of them, because I wasn't. But the celibacy journey continues.
That's
what's your type, Claudia?
I'm a godly woman, much like Phaedra Parks. We're godly women of Christ.
That Salt and Pepper Gang is not your type. That's not Claudia's type. So I don't know why we even think that is not Claudia's type at all.
My type, I love my friends know, I love a chiseled jawline, tall, over 6'1", 6'2". I like 6'3", 6'4". Listen, I know I'm of a certain age, so I know he ain't gonna be as chiseled as I used to like him back in the day, and I used to get. So they can have a little bit of meat on them, but preferably the meat would be below the waist, not around the stomach. Nice teeth, nice smile, and someone that's like, I love a man that other men respect. Like, that's a turn on to me. Like a guy that's like maybe in public office, maybe a head coach somewhere. Stuff like that. Like, I think that's very attractive. Like a man that other men, an alpha man that other men respect, that doesn't have a problem with this woman taking up space and being someone that gets attention. Like a secure man. Like to me, and I love a man that's classy in public, and when we get home, we can get hella like nasty.
Yes. Fun.
But you would never know it by his public persona. Like, I love that. I love that.
I love that for you. I see that. I can see that.
But I had my eye on somebody. Y'all know who I had a little crush on, but they haven't manifested. So I'm open to whatever. I'm open.
Yeah.
And Dustin, what's your type?
Nice feet. You know what I'm saying? We can start there. Let's get that out.
That rules on Claudia. Go ahead.
I'm a first person.
I had surgery, nice Carlos.
Yeah, she got them now. Shit. Okay.
Claudia, I miss her. Guys, if y'all see me poking for Claudia, because I miss her. So don't read too much into it, child.
Oh, listen,
yeah. Smart, articulate, hood. You know what I'm saying? Well versed. You know what I'm saying? Ambitious and driven. I don't like no lazy niggas. That's a one-way ticket to never speaking to me again. I like naturally confident and reasonably confident people. You know what I mean? It's got to make sense. Your confidence has to be substantiated with valid reasons. And yeah, y'all know what my type is. Y'all already know. So yeah.
That one picture you put in our group chat, that was some fineness. I said, that's my type too.
I'm gonna get that. Yep.
I want that for you, friend. Fine.
I do too. I do too.
Yep.
So we're all gonna be in DC for I'm coming to a DC show June 21st, because I'll be there for an appearance. So I'm coming to Dustin's DC show. Carlos, hopefully there's a reason for you to be in DC.
I will come to DC, Claudia Jordan. I will rearrange my schedule. Thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you, friends. I can't wait to see y'all, man. We're gonna have a good time.
Okay, so I'll ask my type, and then we can move on to Real Housewives.
What's your type?
All these ladies' types. Okay, so my type is the opposite of Dustin's.
What's your type, Carlos?
I'm teasing. Okay, so it's funny. My raindrops know me well. So Mariah Carey she's teasing a new single, a new album called What's Your Type. So I was having fun with the raindrops on Twitter today, and I asked them what's my type. Nate's in the comments. They all said, Carlos, you like short, brown and round, and maybe even African. So that was it back in the day. So, but I will say this. Carlos King's type today is this. I like attractive. I do like a soft-spoken man. I like a feminine man. Some may say a bush queen, if you will. Which by the way, I just found out that's what a bush queen was like a few months ago. Because I never like.
But finish going. You
like a bush queen?
I know it's people. They say it in love, so I accept it as such.
Okay,
you know
I'm trying to figure out.
We don't call each other that, but people will refer.
No, we don't call each other. I literally just found out what a bush queen was.
Yeah,
Carlos,
I ain't shamed about it. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all are hilarious. Carlos, does your type look like Gerald? Y'all are hilarious. Should be his husband, Claudia and Dustin.
So short, brown, and round was your type?
So it was back in the day, but right now I like a very attractive man. I like a feminine man, a soft-spoken man, a God-fearing man, and a man who has a good relationship with his mother.
Yeah.
That tells you a lot about them. And I like a man who allows me to lead.
Yeah.
Ain't that simple? I think that's real simple.
Very simple and very easy to find.
So now you like tall and not round, clearly. Chiseled features. I feel it. My psychic ability is kicking in right now.
I bet it is.
Claudia, we'll talk afterwards. All right, so let's get into the latest episode. This was a great introduction, by the way. We missed you, Claudia. Welcome back.
Yes.
I'm happy that you're here.
Hey, Martin, it was amazing. We got to go.
Let's get right into it. You were missed for sure. The fans went crazy when you weren't here last week. So we're happy that you're back. All right. So look, The episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta started off with Shamia doing some charity work. What I love about this scene with Shamia and her daughter before the girls, Kelly and Brit, got there, Shamia house is a castle.
Mm-hmm.
So to see that garage lifted up and those massive ass boxes.
Yep. All that shit stacked up to the heavens that they was giving away. I love it. Mm-hmm.
I loved it so much. And I love the fact that she said when she talks about her daughter living in privilege and how she really wants to be able to teach her that you are blessed and you have to pay it forward. I thought that was beautiful. Before we get to the Kelly and Brit of it all, to me, this scene solidified the importance of Shamia being on the show, because not only does she bring a lot of wealth and access to it, but it's the humility as a mother of what she's teaching her daughter growing up in privilege. Because listen, I'm gonna say this to y'all. I'm a fan on TikTok of seeing Black rich kids. I can watch that all day. It puts a smile on my face. I just discovered Robert Smith's daughter. She's like in her early 20s and she's on TikTok living her best life. So that shit makes me happy. So I was happy to see that.
I love seeing that. I love that part of seeing Shamia's storyline. I mean, let's keep it a buck, especially after this episode. Not everybody got the bread they say they have, okay? And it's nice to see Shamia, who doesn't even talk about her bread, softly show us how she has it. And the fact that she, some people get a few dollars, you can tell new money is usually arrogant and obnoxious, and Shamia is not. Like, she married a very wealthy man, and they've been together for 10 years. And I love that she's instilling that into her daughter instead of being a little brat. Kind of, she could easily be a spoiled brat, and she's not. And I thought that's a really great lesson. And I love seeing that. I love seeing that for Shamia. Like, that was a very important scene to me, especially, within a world of Instagram posturing, to kind of like instill that early on, because she didn't have to. Because she really got that bread.
I thoroughly enjoyed that scene. First of all, Shamia was tailored up in them Gucci pants and shit. I don't know who her tailor is, but they had cut that shit on her. She was in that Gucci in that garage. That little beautiful Black daughter of hers with her beautiful little braids, running around and just being a thriving child, well-adjusted, articulating her little thoughts and reasoning like that on camera. We love shit like that. That's what makes us love the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And we do get attached to the children of these ladies. We love watching them grow up on TV, seeing them progress, and watching them be rich Black kids. It's just like when Barack Obama won the election. I couldn't wait to see them little girls running across that White House lawn in them little Rothschild coats and wool two-piece little hats and shit. I love seeing that. So I love this scene. Shamia's garage was full of shit to give away, which was in sharp contrast of what we saw from Brit when she came over with that quilted Northern, and I believe it was a box of sanitary napkins as well. And so, it was a bit different, but I love that scene and it was good to see. I also like seeing Kelly and Shamia and Brit having conversation over Shia. I like seeing her watch her mama and her mama's friends talk. That sort of village shit, that community. That's what teaches our little Black girls how to be little Black girls. And I love seeing her looking up, listening intently to what they were saying. That was just good TV. And that's why we love Shamia being on this cast. So.
Yes, no, I thought so too. So you brought up Kelly and Brit arriving. Brit arrived with some stuff, and she did bring up the event that was in last week's episode. Claudia, you weren't there for that one, so not sure if you know what's been going on. But Brit had an event. Hey, Tisha, she had an event that went awry at a country club. I believe is where she said they live, and a lot of people weren't able to eat. And there's been such fodder on social media about this. Brit in last night's episode brought it up again and just pretty much said that's not her standard when it comes to not feeding people, not having an event of her standard. And there's a lot of things happening on the blogs about what's been going on with Brit's situation. Have you guys been seeing that?
I saw that bullshit all the way from St. Martin. Okay, that was some bullshit. First of all, how do you have an event where just what 7-8 people get food and everybody else is supposed to be peasants. And at first she did say that they weren't even supposed to be seated, that they were supposed to be standing around and like just kind of like just to give in ambiance and like use everybody that's there as unpaid extras. And like, Brit, look, if you don't have it, you don't have it. You don't have to show it. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I was on the show, y'all showed me putting together some IKEA furniture. It was when my real furniture was being delivered and the moving truck was late. Y'all played me, but it's all right. You don't have to go in there. Everybody ain't rich. And I feel like on Instagram and on social media and on reality shows, everyone feels this immense pressure to be wealthy when they're not. Meanwhile, you're breaking the bank, you're renting clothes. Ooh, there's so many other people I could put on blast right now, especially from the other show we did together, Carlos. Anyways, but like people lie. And it's like, I feel that in one regard, it's like, I understand the pressure. Like you have to like put this image, but in this case, it backfired. It made her look super ridiculous. Obviously with the wardrobe, I know this is last week's episode. I mean, obviously you're not used to being at a country club like that. If you think that's the way you would dress to go on a golf course, they don't like you to wear heels because you damage the course.
Yeah.
You got to replace divots. Like that's golf etiquette. No one in their right mind. When I go to the celebrity golf tournaments that I'm invited to in, islands and stuff like that, Bermuda was my last one. There's no heels on the course. You have to wear a collared shirt and proper foot attire. I remember one time I tried it, like the shirt like Carlos has on. I remember I tried it one time with a tank top and they let me because I was a celebrity, but it was definitely very much against golf etiquette. That was so ridiculous. And that's someone that doesn't know what she was doing. And Kelly clocked it. She said, I don't see, none of her neighbors seem to know who she is. Like they don't know, the members don't recognize her. Brit, I think you keep failing by trying to be something you're not. And we would like you more if you just kept it a buck about who you really were. If you can't afford to feed 20 people, then don't try to feed, then don't have an event like that. Just have it for the girls. Because now you look dumb and you got a lawsuit now. You look crazy.
What is this lawsuit that Brit has right now?
Justin, you want to?
No, because I don't really care about it. To me, like the whole digging into the lawsuit shit is like just extra. We saw enough on the show and we saw that it wasn't enough food to go around. So like there's no more that we need to know. To me, like obviously she wasn't proactive, or her team, whoever was responsible for planning and organizing her event, they did not have a plan B in place. There should not have been a need for one. Either you have food or you don't. And once herself and whoever else was making decisions for her was made aware that there was an issue with the food, it's a very simple fix. You put the card down, get it together. If they don't have the supplies there, you order from somewhere else, even if it's got to be wings. You know what I'm saying? You just order it and get it to the people, open that bar up, put a card down on that bar, open that bar up, get everybody drunk, and make amends for the obvious oversight. The digging into these lawsuits in Fulton County and all this other shit, that's just a bit much for me personally. That's just me. So I didn't really invest too much time into looking into that shit.
So are you saying the lawsuit isn't worth the 2-ply Charmin that Brit brought to the fundraiser?
Ultra strong.
Listen, I just can't with Brit this whole episode. Like every time, like I take my foot up a Brit's neck for like an episode or two or whatever, she do something stupid like this. Like, first of all, these people in Grenada need stuff, and you over here bringing like the bare minimum. Like, and here's the thing. Again, if you don't have it, you don't have it. But what's obnoxious is showing up with a Hermes bag, right, and bringing 2 rolls of toilet paper and some tampons or some pads. Like that's like right. Where, and then, oh, my team, she's always blaming it on her team. Well, you are clearly on a losing team if the team can't deliver for you. Brit, go through that closet and bring some clothes that you don't wear anymore, like stuff that you've worn already, posted on Instagram. Like it's not that hard. I just feel like she did herself a disservice by doing that. She looked ridiculous carrying. How I look like bringing a Hermes bag and I'm bringing you $12 worth of supplies.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is the case. And then, the party planner did release a statement pretty much saying that the event was not of her liking either due to some restrictions that she was under. So listen, it's one of those things where as a reality producer, you follow the reality. Obviously, this happened before the episode aired. But it is something that people are talking about when it comes to what Claudia is saying, which is when you get on reality television and there is this perception of living beyond your means. And that's why I always tell people, and I've said this every week on this Monday Night Live, blah, blah, blah. You really just have to be yourself. And I promise you, if you go in being yourself, you will always, always, always win the audience. You may not win 100% of them because no one does, but you will win the large majority of them, because when you give people an excuse to talk about stuff like this, because everybody is talking about these things that have unearthed. I do agree with the fact that, look, let's focus on the show. But the problem that's happening is so much is happening outside of the show that is carrying the season. And that's why this is the first season in a very long time, or maybe ever, where the fourth wall is constantly being broken. And we saw that with Porsha and Drew sit down. Porsha, don't do no more sit downs, baby.
At this point, don't do any more reality, because you are not delivering this season. You're not, and you're so cute. She's such a cute girl, and she used to be
pretty
so
at that sit down with Drew.
Gorgeous.
She's
I like
not
the black
giving,
dress.
like, she's not. She's another one that's not like. Listen, Porsha, like, you were the most anticipated return to reality TV. People wanted to see you and hear your story, and I know you were kind of cut at the feet a little bit with Simon not letting you record in the house, but you still could have talked about things that we cared about. These fake beefs with Drew, these bad sit downs where you're getting, Drew fucking clowned. She read you down. You lost that one, and she used to be so much funnier in her green screens, and she's not. It's giving grasping for straws. And I feel like there's like some sort of desperation. Like, I know I don't have it. I got to try to give something. So instead, she's just saying mean shit in her green screens instead of just like keeping it a buck. All right. I was tripping. I know Drew ain't messing with my ex, but I'm being, we would laugh more if you just admitted I was being a petty bitch. Like, I appreciate that more than just acting like it's a bigger deal than it's not, when it's really not. Like, it's just a lot of posturing this season.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about Porsha, ever since she's been on the show, was her kind of in the moment, 100% off the dome, quick, witty retorts, comebacks, funny things to say. Like when her and Kenya, before Kenya departed, when they were at that dinner at the bank, at the Vault, I think it was called, or the bank, whatever that restaurant was, and they were joking about the soul food menu in a funny way, and Porscha's yam bites, they was going back and forth. That was funny. I like that Porsha, and I haven't seen that much of her, that side of her personality this season. And when again, much to your earlier point, Carlos, when there's so much going on off the show, obviously we know that Porsha is going through the shit she's going through with Simon. And to her credit, she's been as forthcoming about that as she can off camera in interviews on her YouTube channel. But when it comes to the show itself, it's a different presentation. And I think that that's where the disconnect is happening for me and a few other viewers. Even though she looks gorgeous, like a doll on the screen, we're hearing the things that she's saying. It's not really lining up with the shit she's doing. Like the light jokes. Did I say that? Was I talking about that? Did I say that? When you were literally on a hot mic off camera saying this stuff. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of is a misalignment, and I want better for Porsha. I feel like season 17, all the shit will be worked out that needs to be worked out for her to exist kind of in the fullness of her personality on this cast, and maybe we'll see more. I'm hoping. And I'm also looking forward to the reunion, because make no mistake, Porsha Williams is very well aware of the criticism she's receiving. She's very well aware of what people are and are not saying. And I think that her performance at the reunion, which I believe they taped this week, should be interesting.
Yeah, so Porsha did address the things you brought up, Dustin. So Porsha has a YouTube channel. Subscribe to it, Porsha for real. She did speak about what we talked about before, which is stuff happening that we're not seeing, but also what's going on with her and Drew being over it. So listen, I'm gonna say this. I am over this working with Dennis. I think it's the storyline has run its course. It's not juicy. No. It's something that should have been 3 episodes max. Only because unless Drew was really sleeping with Dennis, I don't care about this storyline. I don't care about the idea of well, y'all, you're filming with my baby daddy, you filming with my husband. I think for the audience, and this is just me being honest, it's taking us out of the real moment because we're confused as to why episode 13, I think was last night, we are still talking about something that happened episode 1. And they addressed it. And I think Porsha and Drew sit down really showed me that they both didn't seem to care about it. You know what I mean? Like I didn't feel connected to it. I didn't think they were connected to it. Porsha said that Drew is dating her producer Black. She later revealed that Dennis allegedly said it to her. She said that in her confessional. Drew alleged that Porsha is dating somebody else, and it just
Future.
Yeah, she said it was Future because they played it in the trailer.
One and not protect the
no,
other.
it was Bleak.
Not you, but Bravo. I don't like that. They protected Porsha by not saying Future's name, who's a known thought in Atlanta. Anyone could screw Future, okay? It's so easy to get, all right? He's just raw dog with everybody. Porsha, be careful before you get a bacteria infection if you are messing with him, because he clearly doesn't use condoms with all those kids. Like, you can't, like, not show hear the name that they saying about Porsha, but then put a picture of a guy that Drew's allegedly with, and she said it wasn't true, and then blur his face out. I just don't like that. That's very unfair. And those are the kinds of things that make me still have to keep pressure on her. And that's actually Bravo's fault, right? In editing, that's not right. And that turns the viewers off where there seems to be favoritism. Like, what's good for the goose better be good for the motherfucking gander, because that ain't right. Why are we protecting one, but we ain't protecting the other? Now, Drew has to deal with false allegations, allegedly, right? And it's okay for us to know Black's name, but it's okay for us to know Future. I said it. Mask off. Fucking mask off.
I love Future's music. Everybody know that's one of my favorite rappers. So the thought of him and Porsha dating, I was turned on, you know what I'm saying? But I think they look good together. But you know, I understand why it's a thing. I get it. And also, I just want to say March Madness is one of the greatest rap songs of all time. I love March Madness. Take this. When I win my Oscar, I want the orchestra to play March Madness when I'm shaking my peers' hands as I'm walking up the aisle to accept my shit. So.
He's dope for music. I love his music.
Yeah.
Love music. I get it, Porsha. I get it, Porsha. He's not an ugly guy either. We get it, but like, I'm just talking about the fact of
in context
protecting one out the other. Let's keep it fair here. Keep it fair. That's not me bragging her.
What I thought was interesting is, and the reason why everybody is commenting about being Future, even Claudia, is because on the mid-season trailer, his name wasn't bleeped,
right?
But in the episode, it was bleeped. That's why it was confusing, because it's out there already, right? Just based on that. And then I do know it was something that Simon alleged that happened, and I think that's the reason why Drew mentioned his name too, because Simon alleged that during his time on social media. But listen, perhaps a cease and desist was sent over. Yeah. But I think, listen, to Justin's point, if it's true, and we don't know if it's true, it's not a bad thing to date Porsha. If it's true, Porsha, I think we all are like, look, Future appears to be a good time, and ain't nobody mad if it's a good time.
And she very well may not have dated him, and it may be just Simon being a hater and throwing that out there. My point is not whether or not she did or she didn't. That's her business. If she's like, listen, she going through a divorce from Simon, she can date who she wants to date, and that's keeping a buck. My point was the inconsistencies, like protecting Porsha's alleged hookup, but not protecting Drew's alleged hookup when they're both in the same position going through messy divorces. Like, let's have, maybe the Black allegation supposedly with Drew is not true either. And I feel like we don't know that either one to be true or false, but like, have the same energy for both. That's what I had a problem with, honestly.
Yeah, I just got a problem with the whole storyline. I thought, listen, it was cute episode 1, maybe episode 5 when the whole thing came about with like whether or not Shamia yes, whether or not Shamia got the message wrongly delivered to Drew about Drew's album paying for Pilar's tuition. Like
So
it to
stupid.
me, yeah, I just think it was one of those things where I was like, I honestly don't care. And as I was watching the scene, I think they both just did not seem to even give a shit either. I'm glad they made up about it in that episode, but I think it just has no. I think it's dead weight.
Mhm.
That I didn't like that scene where it does right. It seemed like it's just dragging. Like in the past, it seemed like this is what some of the white housewives shows would do. No shade, like I'm not being racist or like that, but I'm saying like it seemed like the more white housewives franchises would be stuck on a very small issue for many
Mhm.
weeks. And you're like, oh my god, she didn't go to the bar mitzvah. Who gives a damn? Like 7 episodes later, we're still talking about it. And the Atlanta housewives always had big, like the reads were big, the big drama where you're like, all right, I get it. So it was exciting. This is giving kind of scrambling for storyline. Let me drag this for like 6, 7, 8, 9 episodes because it's not that big of a deal, some of the stuff. And now we're looking at a meetup lunch between Drew and Porsha that should have happened episode 3. In episode 13, where all Porsha's doing the entire time is bringing up Black, trying to embarrass her, and then Drew is popping up back. And do we think they're gonna get back on and cool again before the end of the season? I don't think so. I don't think there's enough time for them to get back cool. I don't think so. What do you
Yeah,
think?
and to be fair, Porsha had a lot of shit she couldn't talk about this season, right?
Right.
So I'm sure she was searching for things to dig deeper into and present on camera. I just wish they would have picked something else because this shit with Drew and these filming scenes and all of that shit it is literally belabored at this point. We have had it with that situation, and everybody's had it. We're just ready to move on collectively. I was much more entertained by Porsha, the dialogue they had at the table in Grenada when they were all sitting down, and her finally saying, maybe I did, say take it too far or whatever. Let's move on. I was happy to see that because there's so much other shit that they could be talking about. Phaedra's back.
Yeah.
Why hasn't anybody talked about where things were before she left? Why can't we see her and Porsha talk about them patching up their friendship? Because the explanation that we were given when Phaedra returned, it wasn't enough to me. We want to see the healing. That could be something that Porsha could lean into that's real and authentic that we could see. You know what I mean? Because there's so much that we can't see other than pulling this shit out of their asses about Drew and Dennis and all this other shit that just don't make any sense. So
the OGs are kind of letting us down. They're letting us. I think to me, when you think Phaedra Parks, like for years, there were some people that are her fans or Housewives fans that really wanted the return of Phaedra to the show. And when Porsha wasn't there for a while, people really wanted her to come back, and they came back, and they're really not giving. They're not giving because they're refusing to address the elephants in the room, or they can't. Phaedra, like, you would be the talk of the town if like we would really have a serious conversation about the big lie that, all that stuff, but they're like staying away from that. And all you're coming with is these weird faces. It looks like your top teeth are missing, like the blonde hair. Like you're not really giving. You're being mean to people. Like once again, you don't even know, and that's why people think. I don't know what people think my issue with Phaedra is, and I'm not going to spend much time on it. But the same thing happened when I got on the show. She went on Ellen DeGeneres talking shit about me before she even met me. It doesn't like why are you going in like. You don't know these people and you're going in before you even do one scene with them. It's different if you're doing commentary, but you're going into this friend circle late in the game and being a mean girl out the gate. And I don't think it's giving like the shade that she thinks, and it's not funny like it could be. I think it's funny. That's not funny.
What we also know for sure is that Phaedra's not quick on her feet on that reunion stage with no notes. And so I think that she's going to be in for a rude awakening when they get on that stage because these ladies have watched all this shit and they've seen the things that have been said and they've watched the show for previous years. I think we're going to see some interesting conversations on that reunion stage.
I just found it really funny for Phaedra to sit there and call Brit, a girl about town, Phaedra. Now, Phaedra Parks. Phaedra. Now, don't get me to talking, honey, boo-boo, because you're not the woman, the Christian that you try to portray yourself to be. You're very much in these streets with lots of rappers, on air mattresses with ankle bracelets back in the day, allegedly, and you have done your dirt. So that may not be the area, like lying, fraud, and hoism may not be the area that you may want to attack. Maybe attack on something else, because, you know, never attack on things that you're guilty of. So your strong suits you can attack on. You're smart, you're educated, you've been to school, you got a big ass. You know, those are your strong suits. But like when you are like, before you even like get to know this girls, like you was really coming for people that you're kind of like, what's the difference between you and Brit actually?
So I do want to talk about, speaking of which, I want to talk about the shade that Phaedra made to Angela, because Claudia, so last week we did talk about Phaedra's return, and I said like, oh my gosh, it was funny. I was laughing, you know, the little shade here and there I thought was funny. Obviously, I'm not that person. So it's not at my expense, but I thought it was fun, like shade, right? I will admit, in this episode, when Phaedra talked about Angela, and she said how she is the oldest looking younger person she's ever met, and hopefully her personality is more youthful than her face. I didn't like that, and the reason why I didn't like it is because, look, I come from the old school housewives. I love a good shade, a good read. When Nene and Sheree read each other about the doggy teeth, your car being repossessed, your baseball knees, you know, put them knees on a treadmill, your skin can use a bleaching. Those ladies were friends before the show happened. And this happened season 4 years into the show. So when they read each other about their appearances, the reason why we all laughed about it is because those two had a friendship, and we saw a history between Nene and Sheree that warranted shade to not just be about, you know, your gate is broken or your car got repossessed. They said, bitch, I'm gonna go for the gusto. But they earned it. Nene and Sheree earned the right to come for each other's physical appearance. And I feel like Phaedra attacking Angela's physical appearance without even physically meeting her, I just felt I didn't feel good about it. I didn't like it at all. I thought it was too low. I thought it was way too
Especially when
low.
they show the flashbacks of Phaedra. Phaedra she's not a renovation. She's a complete tear down and rebuild of what she looked like when she first got on the show. Let's keep it a buck, okay? Phaedra, you have your audacity to sit here and say Angela looks like the oldest young person you've ever seen. Angela is the most natural person on that show. Clock that T. The most natural. Body is snatched. Doesn't have a ridiculous looking BBL. Her waist, like, she looks good. She's had some work done on her face. We talked about that, the nose, whatever. But she's pretty natural in comparison to a lot of reality stars. And for her to come out there out the gate and say that once again, you're attacking on something that you're weak in yourself. Phaedra, we all see the throwbacks when you first came on that show looking like someone's grandma, okay?
She looked old on the Traders. Yeah, and that was just what, a year ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the thing. I mean, I didn't mean to cut you off, friend. I'm sorry. But physical appearance is subjective, right? Like, everybody has an opinion on what's attractive to them and what's not. And that's just a dangerous water to play in. Now, if we arguing, you know what I'm saying, and we're at that level and we're going there, then fuck it, let the shit fly. But unprompted, unsolicited, unwarranted, just going after Angela's physical appearance like that, it wasn't cool. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't. It didn't look good. It didn't land well. It was not a way to return when you just came back off the heels of you saying some crazy shit in the first place, which is why you aren't a part of this show for all that time. It's not the way to come back in. I would like to see just her be funny outside of punching down. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a way to do it without being mean-spirited. That's all.
It's giving, because she came in late in the season, that she feels like she got to come out guns blazing and like just kind of make a splash. But the old Phaedra that had, you know, some funny reads, come in with that, and that's enough. It's almost like overcome. Okay, I haven't been here I missed 11 episodes, so let me come in here, attack Angela, attack this one, attack this one, attack this one. When, okay, we get reading as part of this, but like, Angela hasn't done anything to you yet.
It's got to make sense. It's got to make sense.
Yeah, when it was to that degree, like I said, listen, calling Kelly a garden gnome because she's short, okay, like, you know, like, okay, that's whatever, right? Brit's a girl about town, okay, whatever. even in this episode. Now, look, I did because I'm very honest, right, and fair. When she said, Drew, I don't know about Drew's stuff. Was she on Soul Train? Like, that to me is funny. You know what I mean? Like, you could.
It was funny, but the audacity, Los, right? It was funny, but
that
the
was the
audacity.
thing. Yes, that was the thing. It's one of those things where you can make a joke that can be a little bit ageist, but I think the thing that threw me off about Angela was just Angela said 2 seconds before that shady bite, I see Phaedra, looking forward to meeting her. Then, damn, she blew her head off. And the thing about Drew, because to me, it was more so about Drew's profession, right? Like, I didn't watch her old stuff. Did she dance on Soul Train? Like, that to me is lighthearted. Again, I'm not Drew, so I don't know how she took it. But if I'm being honest, right, I was turned off by the Angela diss. But the Drew Soul Train comment, I did laugh out loud because I thought was like, okay, that's funny. But I do think this. I was looking forward to seeing Phaedra's life in this episode because she is back. And I wanted to see her at home. I wanted to see Mr. President.
Me too.
Beautiful kids that she's got. Beautiful.
Yeah, because she's a housewife, right? She's holding a peach. I did expect to see some Phaedra personal story in this episode, whether it was, this is me being honest, whether it was Phaedra packing to go to Grenada while her kids were there, and she's telling them like, you know, because Phaedra is a great mom. So anytime you get to see Phaedra being a mom, it balances out her lethal shade. And I think because, and this is, I'm being honest, because we're not seeing, and it's been 2 episodes, I know, but Phaedra is coming in hot. And I think what could have been a balance of a cool off is if we would have been settled in her life and been welcomed with her at home with the kids, getting ready for Grenada, packing, so that this lethal shade doesn't feel like, because I think what we're all experiencing is every time we see Phaedra pop up on screen, it's like a lethal shade that comes down the confessionals. And it's like, give us a beat. Like we're 12 weeks in and we got to come a little bit easier.
And it's not as funny as what it used to be. You know what I mean? She's definitely, I think she's lost a step when it comes to like her funny reads, and maybe she's like feeling awkward because she hasn't been around and she's a bit rusty. But for her to come, I didn't like the shade for Drew's career because so I was like, you know what? I'm all about fair and balance. So let's talk about Phaedra's career because she always prides herself on being this brilliant attorney. So if you do a simple Google search of Phaedra Parks and Bobby Brown, let me just give you a quote from Bobby Brown. Meanwhile, Brown said of Parks in his book, I won't cast aspirations on her lawyering skills, but I will say that when she was my lawyer, I usually wound up going to jail. So, you know, she likes to talk shit about people's careers and stuff, but like in the words of Cynthia Bailey, win a case. You know, so then she became an undertaker because her career in law was as dead as the bodies that she said she wanted to curate and fix and work on. So you come in here with this whack ass jokes of people who actually do have a career. Listen, you can say a lot of things about Drew. You can call her a liar. You can question some of her truth. But what you cannot do is come for the girl's talent. I did a movie with this girl. She's a great actress and she's a great singer. And you can't come for the career. And even saying Soul Train, honey, you look like you was a dancer on Soul Train with the looks that you had up until the last 3 years when you finally got a lace front, because you're the one that gives 1960s, 1970s was around back when there was black and white television. So you coming for someone else's age, career, again, that's not where you should be, Phaedra. Use your strong suits, use education, use your degrees, but instead you're falling flat and the reads aren't really reading. And it seems like when she doesn't have a Kenya to go up against, she's not really giving anything. Like you need Apollo and you need Kenya because you're not giving anything. You're not. You're giving. This is just another check. She's got a lot of reality shows she's on, which I give her congrats on that. She's making a lot of money. Traders, all House of Villains, all these shows I think she's doing. And this seems like a stop along the way. It doesn't seem as invested because maybe you'd have better things to say. You're a smart girl. You could do better than these lazy reads you've been doing. I don't like them.
Yeah, I agree with Claudia. I think we had a great opportunity to be reintroduced to Phaedra, right? She was in such a unique and great position, right? Like getting put back on to the fucking Real Housewives of Atlanta after a multi-year hiatus like that. Quad said that Candy Burris had benched her for all them years, you know what I'm saying, over at the Housewives. So for her to be able to come back and have the opportunity to reintroduce yourself to the audience, that was a hell of an opportunity. And so far, I don't want to speak prematurely, but 2 episodes in, it looks like the opportunity's been missed. I don't think there was any strategy in place whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? I think she just started filming. At least that's what it appears to be to me.
It's giving letdown. And I feel like with all that, listen, there's no doubt that Phaedra was not a good housewife when she was on the show. I will give her that. If she came with like half of that talent and that presence, it would make it, she would quickly rise to be like one of the stars of the show, right? We'd be like, yo, this is what we miss, because you don't have Nene, you don't have Kenya, you don't have like, you know, the OGs really like that. She could have easily walked in and kind of ran it, but instead she went this route. And I think she should just came in with funny reads, not just, that's not enough to justify that paycheck. You know, it's not enough. I don't know. It's not. Are we getting paid to make facial expressions? Well, Carlos, you owe me $400,000.
I'm too busy giving y'all my coming out story. I'm trying to make sure this thing cooks.
Jesus. Oh, that's the whole look. I got Phaedra's whole season in 10 seconds. Oh, not a garden gnome. I love little people. Wait, let me hide my top teeth.
Claudia,
that's it.
Please, I can't.
Hey, I'm not mad. I'm just honest. You know it.
You do be doing that with her.
Dustin, get your Aries sister.
Is it just the bottom teeth and not the top? What we doing? I know that's a new trend where people fix the top teeth and not the bottom, but she got the reverse. I don't know. But Phaedra, go back to what made you great when you came on the show, being funny, lying about new dates and all that. But it's okay. It still made it for an interesting story. But this right here, attacking Angela and other people before you even meet them, like at least meet them, then we can justify it. We'll be with you when you're right.
Yeah, and I also think this, I'm gonna end with this. I also, because as somebody who worked on the show, I love, listen, nothing is better than a face-off, like face-to-face. You know what I mean? Like a face-to-face off. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, Phaedra versus Kenya, face-to-face, Mexico, season 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like I love a face-to-face face-off. So I think, to your point, if that's going to be a read, I think say it to their face so that it can be a ping pong. And I think then the audience would appreciate it and would appreciate the read, because even when you and Nene had y'all back and forth, and again on my podcast, when I asked the legend, the icon, the queen, Nene Leakes, of all the battles you had in your career on Housewives, which one was your most, like, I'm forgetting how I phrased it, but like, which one were you like, okay, this bitch
formidable opponent, I think it was.
Yeah, like your formidable opponent. She said Claudia Jordan. And I'm
Thank
like,
you. I appreciate that, Nene. Respect.
I'm like, Sheree, Kenya, Kim Zolciak. She said, if I had to give to any of these girls, Claudia, and I think it's because she appreciated, and I'm not going to speak for Nene. She can speak for herself. But I think it's because Nene appreciated this girl came to me with a read to my face as a newbie, and that back and forth ping pong was respected. Claudia didn't hide behind anything, like she said to your face. So I think when these reads are iconic when it's face to face
and not rehearsed.
Claudia, I said face to face, child. All right, so we're going to transition.
What did you say?
I said face to face, honey. So when we look at first of all, Claudia, Dustin gives Phaedra a run for her money with faces. Dustin's faces when you and I be going at it sometimes is the funniest shit ever. I look back on his lip because I'm such a fan of Monday Night Live that on Tuesday mornings I watch it again.
Oh, the rewatch.
I know.
Okay. The rewatch.
I love a rewatch.
Hey, y'all, in the comments, real quick, can I just say something? I know I'm not supposed to be reading the comments, but I do, right? Because I like to hear if there's something we're missing. There's no jealousy or hate towards any of these women. I'm so far removed from that. That was 10 years ago, you guys. I live in Dallas. I'm not trying to get on Atlanta. I've been gone for literally 11 years, actually. It's not about that. But when I'm asked to do commentary, I'm going to commentate on what I feel and what I think, whether I was on the show or not. It has nothing to do with it. I can provide a little extra context because I did work with some of these people and I know how the reality game goes to an extent. So please don't take my honesty for any kind of bit. I'm not bitter or jealous of Porsha or Phaedra. I have a very fucking amazing life, glowing hairline, real, everything
Looking
real. I'm
young.
happy. I look
Furthermore,
young.
this is a
It's not
commentary
bad.
show.
Not your hairline
That's
is
what we're here
real.
for. We're here to give commentary. You know what I'm saying? That's why I stay out the comments, because I'll be
Can you
checking.
can your faves do this? Can I do this? Can they? Can they do that?
Not a Tresemme commercial, Dustin.
No, I do have
Claudia's
clip-ins. Let
giving us.
me fix my tracks here.
Hopefully
Can they do
Sacred
that?
sees that. We need to get your Sacred endorsement lined
Oh,
up.
Sacred.
Yep.
Shout
Can
out
they
to
do
Sacred.
this and show all 32?
Anyways,
Yeah.
I'm moving on. This is called a transition.
Okay, I just want to put that to bed. It's not that, but if you want to be fake, I can be fake and say fake things and be like, oh,
well,
no.
Claudia, I think you should know by now when you weren't here for a week, they missed you. So listen, the ones who get it. The ones who don't just never will. And that's fine.
Yep.
That's fine. But I appreciate everybody who tunes in because at the end of the day, we're obviously providing some commentary for you guys to watch. And I, along with Claudia and Dustin, we all appreciate you taking time out on a Monday night to watch us. Okay. So whether you disagree with Claudia, Dustin, or me, I appreciate you all for tuning in. And I know they do too. Okay.
Carlos, do you see this fool in this square? Do you see what she is doing, Carlos?
What did you...
These are real too.
This is the thing. I don't know how y'all can hate Claudia because listen, and this is me growing up in an era with no social media.
Not worried about a wig falling off?
Don't do it. Even if you disagree with the person, I always think it's best to just say, at least the chick is funny or the guy's funny. Like, you don't have to like Claudia, but come on, she's funny.
I don't care if they don't like me.
Yeah,
My real
I'm
ones
just
like
saying.
me, and I'm cool with that. The ones that like me love me. The ones that hate me haven't met me yet.
Oh, look at Matthias. Hold on, let me
Not Mossonite.
Moderator, get Matthias. Yeah.
Not rented.
Sell it, honey. You better sell
Not
the hair.
rented.
Yo.
I will
This show has
rent if I
taken
host a
over to
reunion,
me
though.
receipt.
I host a reunion, I'll rent because I'm not going to wear it again, but I don't, not my everyday life. Okay. Now that we cleared that up.
Okay. So thank you, Alabama South. We love you. Okay. Let's get into the girls arrive in Grenada. All of our mutual friends, Cynthia Bailey, admitted that she's in love. The guy is younger. I want to talk about this really fast because I think it's important. Cynthia is with a younger man. She did not disclose his age, so I'm not. He lives in Amsterdam. Everything that I'm saying, she disclosed herself. She said on the after show, and it made me sad. And I want to bring this up not only for Claudia and Dustin to talk about, but I know there's a lot of people in these comments who love when we talk about relationships. Cynthia said on the after show, as she was talking about her new love, and she was telling Drew some of this too, she said dating him feels different because he treats her nice. And she said she almost broke it off with him because he was just too nice. And she had to catch herself and say, why, as a twice divorced woman, don't I think I deserve a man who is just nice? She said he wants to be around her. He likes to kiss her. He likes to hang out with her. And she said she never knew what that felt like. And I felt sad for her, but also happy for her that she got that. So I want you guys to speak about that too. Listen, all of us are single. So is that something y'all can relate to? Just like, is that something y'all can relate to?
That's a lie.
Claudia, Monique,
not everyone
Jordan.
Here is single. I didn't say who. I just said that's not true.
I don't know who. At the end of the day, Is that something you two can relate to? I thought it was powerful.
I think with Cynthia is a unique case, right? Cynthia moved to New York City when she was 18, okay, and got thrust right into like the modeling world. She's dated, you know, men who are very powerful, very rich, and very complicated. You know what I'm saying? At a very early age, she was exposed to that sort of dating environment and that sort of relationship, and she's been famous for a long fucking time. And so she hasn't had the opportunity to kind of like land anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Especially in relationships that didn't necessarily pan out. So hearing her say that she feels that shit now, that makes me feel so happy for her. I love her very much, and I'm glad that she's happy. She deserves all of that shit, and everything she said on the show was real. We all know it. We've been known, but to see her share it with the world, that felt good. And people have to remember, Cynthia hasn't lived a regular life. You know what I'm saying? Her life has been unique and special for a long fucking time. The majority of her adult life, she hasn't had what we would all consider, or most people would consider to be a normal dating life. So to hear her have that takeaway now feels good, and it looks good on her. She looks very happy.
I hate that, like, she feels like, well, not, I can't say how she feels, but it sounds like she feels like maybe like she didn't deserve it, or like that she's surprised that anyone wouldn't be lining up to treat Cynthia Bailey.
Right.
Amazing. Cynthia is a very nice person.
She very really nice. And not to cut you off, Claudia.
Mm-hmm.
Cynthia will literally give you her last dollar. The jacket off of her back. Cynthia is top 5 of one of the most genuine giving people. Like when I say give, like I've been in situations with Cynthia where she's like, I'm gonna take care of this. And I said, Cynthia, I'm a man. You're not gonna take care of anything around me. I got you, sis. But she does it with such love. So Claudia, I could not agree more.
And like that says a lot about the dating pool, that someone that is as kind, beautiful, successful as Cynthia, feeling at this age, right? Not to age shame her, because I'm right behind her, right? Just saying at this age, like this many years have gone by where you haven't felt the love that you deserve is insane to me. But I understand. I've been having a lot of conversations with girlfriends about this. Like I feel a lot of, and I want to go live and talk about this. Maybe when we finally do the show in Miami, we can talk about this. A lot of women, I'm gonna try.
Y'all could never make me hate Claudia Jordan. I'm sorry. This is not gonna happen.
Love you too. A lot of women feel like almost that they have to be apologetic of their success. And especially now, there's constant reminders in the media, like Black women are doing so much better than Black men. And that's probably causing some kind of a divide, you know, it's making it a us versus them. And a lot of women that are successful, a lot of times get penalized by their men, and they kind of try to humble you in the relationship. So while you're thinking, isn't this great? I booked something else. And he's like, you know, I didn't get a call back for my business, or business is struggling. And it's like, instead of like riding for each other, it becomes a competition. And I think in Cynthia's life, she's probably had a lot of that, especially if you're a model dating in not saying Leon was like that. I'm not saying that about him, but if she dated in that world, it's very difficult when you're booking, your guy isn't. In business, like we all had to publicly see the things that happened with Peter, right? And I'm sure that had to be difficult for him when to see, in contrast, wifey is flourishing and you're getting the bad rap, right? That's not an easy position to be in. So I'm sure she had to downplay a lot of time. And now she's not downplaying anything. She's comfortable. She's happy. I talked to her about a couple weeks ago for like an hour, and we caught up on all things. And she was just so happy. Like it seems like very simple and just and fun. And it sucks that you got to wait this long to get that. And you're often punished for your success.
And the advice she gave everybody that I know I always lived by, she says she will never, ever, ever have a public relationship. She says she would never post him on social media. She says she would never do red carpets with him. She said, I've learned the hard way, and that's not going to happen. And look, she's happy. She's happy. She's happy. So shout out to Cynthia Bailey. You found love, honey. Now,
getting that back broke by a youngin.
Yes, she is. Yes,
I love it when you sis. Yes, friend.
I want to get into Drew versus Shamia. I'm over this too. I'm glad it's over. At least I hope it is, child.
I hope so.
Because again, I always ask people, is it that deep? And I think when it comes to Drew and Shamia, I think Shamia and Drew, I think they know what it was, and they have to talk about something. Again, I think it fell flat. Now, I don't know what buffet Drew Slaydora had, but she ate when she told Shamia, who she referred to as a lap dog, well, a head dog will holler. Drew Slaydora is having her best season that she's ever had since her presence on the show.
Absolutely.
That was excellent read. And it was to her face. And
yep.
It was quick.
Very quick. I think that I don't know. I'll just leave it on the positive. Yes, Drew is having the best season she's had in quite some time, and I'm enjoying this is episode what, 12, 13?
13.
I am enjoying Drew at this point of this season. I'm enjoying Drew Sidora on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I've never said that. I can say that tonight.
I like her on this. I've been away from the show for like a decade, but I like what I'm seeing. I like that she says it to your face. She never comes off mad. Like, she's not yelling. She does it with like a calm. She doesn't raise her voice. She's like, oh, okay. Waits her turn to get you with the read. I don't like that Shamia and Drew have a thing, because I do like them both. And I would like them to kind of get over this. I also think maybe Shamia's storyline is also affected by her husband not wanting to film as much. But, when there's a little bit of a deficiency, like, I'm sure she would love to be able to show her amazing relationship with her very wealthy and loving man. And when you don't have that, as you're not able to do as much, your storyline does become their interpersonal relationships with amongst the girls. So you're going to have to stretch out an argument with Drew. And you know what I mean? Like, I think that's probably the reason why that's still going on. And I feel like they're trying to make Drew the bad guy of this group. Why, I think Kelly said everyone has a problem with Drew. I'm like, do they all have a problem with Drew?
Yeah,
that confused me.
Yeah.
Because what's her problem with Drew? Do you guys remember what Kelly's problem is with Drew? Because that's a real question. I don't know what it is. I must have missed it.
No, I think, listen, and y'all know me, I love Kelly. I'm a Kelly fan. I think Kelly is the host of the trip, and I think Kelly may have been approached to bring Drew up, and that was her way of trying to find a natural way. Because when I say it fell flat and it made no sense, and I think Kelly being a newbie was sort of like, I guess. But if you look around the room, Drew does not have a problem with anybody but Porsha.
That's why I was like, what?
It was the strangest thing to me.
Yeah.
I love you, Kelly, but
yeah,
that felt my baby.
Kelly, we like you.
Yeah, I
love you, Kelly.
Yes.
That was like but Carlos, like you said, like sometimes you're giving instructions.
Yeah, it's the cast trip. It's
like,
the cast
you
trip.
have to say this, and you're like, but I don't want to. It's not really. And they're like, well, we need it, and so
or find a way to bring this up so we can talk about it. And it's
so
funny
do y'all
because
think? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Los. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I thought it was funny because when Kelly brought up, like, okay, so let's talk about this. They didn't show who said it, and maybe I didn't catch it, but somebody said, "Oh, it's about to go left." Like,
yeah, I remember
that. They kind of just knew, like, we're at a dinner table out the country. We got to talk about it. So that's what I thought of too.
Do you think Brit was prompted when she brought up Apollo and his wife Shireen being invited to their event?
Yes, because I think for them it was sort of like, Phaedra's here. Let's bring up something to get her to cook. It fell flat because Phaedra, and this is a thing about you. This is the thing about producing. You have to know your audience. And by your audience, I mean the cast. Phaedra and Apollo have not been together in over
like 9 years.
I think 9 years. Phaedra doesn't give two F's about what Apollo does as a married man. And that's why I'm on Phaedra's side when it comes to
me too,
her saying, like, he's married to another woman and has been for a very long time. I think Brit was proposition to bring it up. And I also think too, because I also thought too, like, well, it fell flat. Why wasn't in there? And then I want you guys to agree with this. I think it was kept in because you forget Brit is there. And I'm being very honest. And I said this last week. I started off this season praising Brit.
Yeah.
I said Brit. I said I love me some Brit. Brit seems to be that girl. I am starting to feel bad for Brit because I feel like she's fading.
Yeah.
And it makes me sad because I felt like Brit Edie has so much potential. And it does make me sad to watch the possibilities of who she could have become fade away. I believe we have 2 or 3 episodes left, guys. And I do feel like even last week, like, look, hey Brit, if you're watching, look, this is my advice to you. I would celebrate the fact that you're being talked about again, because there was this dry spell after the incident at the hair spa. And last week's your event, we did talk about you. Now, granted, it wasn't the greatest thing to talk about, but one thing Patti LaBelle always said, when people stop talking about you, that's when you need to be worried. And my advice to Brit is people aren't talking about you in the way they used to. And that worries me for her. And her only sort of like second win did come last week, because I feel like good press or bad press get my name right. But I do feel bad for Brit. I do.
Brit got done a disservice when Kenya was removed from the cast.
Yep, that would have been her storyline.
That and Kenya's removal from the cast ended up overshadowing everything that we know about Brit and don't know about Brit. All we do know about Brit is that she was the young lady who was in conflict with Kenya Moore, and that conflict resulted in Kenya's departure from the show. That's all we know. And her mama moved. That's all we know about Brit Edie. You know what I'm saying? And that scandal, that all the hoopla, scuttlebutt, and shit talking that was going on surrounding Kenya's departure from the show has completely overshadowed Brit Edie's presence on this cast. She's scrambling to connect with these ladies in the scenes that we're watching. Even on some of the after show scenes that I've seen where her and Phaedra and Porsha are filming together, you can see her trying to connect or find a bridge amongst the two of them to kind of like fall into their groove of banter. And unfortunately, it just is misplaced. I think that story just got way bigger than what else she had to offer on this cast. And now we're kind of looking at her with our palms up, like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? I don't think that was fair to her. This is why Kenya should have never left the cast, because we could have seen them duke it out, find resolve or not, watch everybody pick sides. We should have just really leaned into it instead of interrupting it abruptly like that, because we all lost out, and so did Brit.
I agree. I'm gonna first go back to the talk about Phaedra. I think Phaedra, and I will give Phaedra props right here. So y'all take note when I say something positive too. Okay. Phaedra,
look. This won't make the blogs, Claudia. But go ahead.
Yeah, they never show when I say Porsha. Cute.
They want to make you a hater so bad.
They want me to be a hater. Like, I really want to hate them. Either one of them. Phaedra's too smart to fall for that bait, and I actually sided too with Phaedra when they brought up Apollo. Either it was poor instructions from the producer, or that's all Brit had. And she was like, I feel myself fading in this scene. Let me say something to get the cameras back on me. That's what it gave. But us knowing how reality works, it probably was some direction like, hey, we're not hearing from you. Say something about Phaedra. And Phaedra, again, way too seasoned. I will say, way too smart to fall for that. She's not going to get into an Apollo thing. That was many relationships ago. Like, he's married. She's done moved on with, other people and all that. And so, that was never going to really fly. So it definitely, whoever gave her that direction, I kind of feel like they set Brit up for a little bit of failure in that moment. I also feel overall in this show, that Brit is really in over her head. Maybe she thought that she would come play with the girls, rent a little Hermes purse, go to a dealership and show herself buying cars. And that would be enough to portray this wealthy lifestyle. And that would be enough. But really, it's really not. You can't fake it. Like the fans of reality and the commentators are too smart and we clock too much. We've seen it all. We've seen people fake storylines and the fans can smell a fake existence a mile away. So you're better off going in saying, I'm trying to get there and I'm not. I'm trying to get my line off the ground. But she wanted to come in like already so big time established. I'm rich. I got all this going on. Well, guess what? The internet sleuths are going to do their thing. They're going to look it up. They're going to find lawsuits. They're going to find that your business isn't really successful. They do it to everyone. Like you got to know that. And I do read her down, but I do think they did not do her a favor of putting her on the show as a housewife out the gate. I think she should have been a friend first, get her feet wet, see how things goes. Because I also will say this. I know I'm getting long-winded. I don't want to be that. It's very apparent from her times on this show that Brit doesn't really have any female friends. She's not a girl's girl because she does feel like she thinks the way to get a moment is to just be mean to another girl. Like even when she was talking to Angela, your husband doesn't even acknowledge that you're his wife. And it was so much anger in her face. I'm like, why are you so happy to tell a woman that her husband doesn't claim her? And you're a married woman where people say you're in a lavender marriage. Not saying she is, but there's things about her. Like it doesn't seem like she knows valid girl code at all.
And this is what I mean. You're making a great point, Claudia, because this is exactly what I be talking about when I say that people can not be conflict centered on these shows and expect to be successful on an ensemble cast. It's got to be more than that. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just come out of left field with these very serious allegations, very dark, taking the show into a very dark fucking place. Like unnecessarily, it just does not add up. It doesn't make sense. And that's what happens every time she finds herself in conflict. We saw Brit do that with Kenya when they were at that bank vault dinner. We saw her do it with Angela at the Bailey Q for Juneteenth. We saw her do it with Angela at the peace brunch that they had. We're seeing her do it now. It's got to be more than just that. But before I saw Brit on the show, when she was announced as cast, I was immediately drawn into her look. I thought she had a sharp, edgy, personal style that I thought would translate really well onto camera on screen. And I thought that she was much more confident than the way I'm seeing her show up in these scenes on camera. It almost looks like she's fearful of being disliked in the aftermath or in the wake of what happened with Kenya's departure. So she's walking on eggshells with these ladies and not really, I don't know what the deal is, but there's a disconnect there. And I just wish that she was a little bit more confident and a little bit more transparent on this cast, because aesthetically it could have worked. That's
and when Kelly said that Drew had beef with everybody, really, it's really Brit that's had beef with everybody there. If you think about it, Brit's had it. She's yelled at Angela. She's mad at Drew. Like she's the one that's like been popping off with everyone. And I think she thinks that's the way to be relevant. Like, let me argue with people so I can be I can get the read and be on the blogs for that week. But that's fine. We do need a good read on these shows, but it has to be rooted in like the stakes got to be there. Like the stakes, like a friend that you had to kind of get together. We care about that, but not you just come in hot. That's why I don't like what Phaedra's doing now. Coming in hot against people you don't even know yet and you haven't had one scene yet. It doesn't make sense. And that's what Brit's been doing her entire time on Housewives, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I listen, I agree. And we have, again, 2 or 3 more episodes left when it comes to this season. And look, I'm just happy that we get to like end with the storylines that I felt dragged out a little bit too long. And I think the girls probably felt the same way too. In hindsight, right? In hindsight, looking on it like, okay, I forgot I brought this up again for a whole nother week. So I am looking forward to the reunion. I think it's going to be a very fun, shady one. Andy did tweet he wanted people to submit questions, which means it is happening very soon. A lot of people are saying allegedly it's happening this week, but I will say I'm looking forward to this reunion.
Me too. I can't wait.
I hope it's not just gonna be just like more of the mean shit, like mean when it's warranted, right? When someone did something really horrible to you, there'd be a reason to be mean back, but not just coming in and just talking shit. And I will say this, and I think I saw a comment about this. honestly, I feel like Cynthia deserves a peach on this season way more than Phaedra. Cynthia was the glue.
Mm-hmm.
Cynthia was great in getting people to talk and open up. She had a great moment with hey, you guys, mark this. Another moment. I'm about to say something nice about Porsha. There was a great scene with Cynthia and Porsha where they were talking, and I really feel like Cynthia really got through to her. And it really, to me, knowing what I know from what I, when I used to talk to Cynthia about this all the time, how far they've come from when they had an actual physical altercation, showing real growth between Porsha and Cynthia. Again, hey, saying something positive. I thought that was beautiful, right? And so I feel like Cynthia has definitely earned it more than a Phaedra, and at this point, even Brit, because Cynthia has been the glue and been a voice of reason and is, provided, I think, more than two of the others.
Yeah, Cynthia did her damn thing this season for real. She was an incredible friend of the show, peach worthy for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. And again, I'll end by saying this: if you are a former housewife, especially if you are an OG, and I'm sorry, guys, OG means you had to have started season 1. You could be a legacy. You could be you're not an OG, a vet. Thank you, legacy or vet. OGs mean season 1, so stop overusing OG. Okay, I digress. If you are an OG housewife and you're asked back to appear on the show, my advice to you is follow the Cynthia Bailey blueprint and be a friend. Be a friend. And the reason why I will say more to the OGs, because when they started Housewives season 1, it was a very different time. It was a very different time, and those girls gave everything that they could to the show, and I think rightfully so. They just don't. They're not in that same headspace to give the same amount, and I think that's fair.
Carlos, do you think a lot of? I'm sorry to cut you off. Do you think some of that comes from like back when it first started, right? Blogs and commentary wasn't as big as it is now. So now people are editing what they would do normally with, well, on the blogs they read me for this, so let me adjust, as before they just lived their life and they were more authentic.
Yeah, look, 1000%. I said this ad nauseum, and I'm never going to change this. Social media killed the reality star.
Yeah.
And when I say that, it's gone are the days of a reality star coming on the show, not already having glam set their looks, not already meeting with hiring a publicist. I met somebody, I'm not gonna say who, so don't ask me messy raindrops. I met somebody before the show even started, and they said to me, I'm the publicist of so-and-so.
Not a publicist before you even get
I
on
said the show to yeah. What are we publicizing?
From Housewives of Atlanta?
I'm not gonna say what show it was, Claudia. You
Carlos, what did you do?
What season? The raindrops want to know who it is, and as a journalist, it's my job to get to the truth.
I'm not gonna say who, but I remember saying, take advantage. Again, it's when you spend money you don't really have, unless you got like that.
Oh, I know who it was.
Don't. I'm not gonna. What? I didn't tell you, and I'm not gonna say it.
I'm gonna put it in the group chat.
Don't spend money that you don't have. But if you do got the money, girl, do what you want to do, child. Right? I'm gonna answer you second, Tamara. So the thing is this: take advantage of the network publicist, whose job that the network is paying them to publicize you. So social media, because a lot of these girls come in wanting to be this person, of feeling like, I know the audience wants this, and it makes me sad. It's the reason why I really don't watch as much reality TV as I used to, because I can spot a fake. It's hard for me to watch these shows with these new girls. I'm not talking about Atlanta. I'm talking about just the general population of reality television. These new girls come in, they study the format, and you should always study any job you have, but study the fact that they were themselves. Don't come in trying to be this person. Don't come in trying to be that person. And once the show airs, they cater to the social media fans who love them. And it's great to have fans, but also know you can't live or die by the fans, because they'll love you one episode. We see it with Shamia. A lot of people love Shamia the first couple of weeks, and now people are saying Shamia, bye, girl. And that's just how it is.
Carlos, do you see your text messages? Do you see your text?
You are so messy as we're
I had to laugh when I
Justin, you think it's that person?
No, it wasn't.
I think it was.
Look, Carlos, but it would have been her.
Hey, Rangers, who do you think it was?
Would have been.
Who do you think it was?
Anyways,
that was hilarious.
Claudia Dustin. That was Claudia is fucking hilarious. Okay, before I let y'all go, I want to answer this question. Carlos, you are producer. If Kenya was on the reunion, what would you think? Claudia and Dustin answered this too. Okay. I'll start first. I strongly feel that Kenya's story has yet to be told fully. And as a vet that she is, I would love to see her and Brit have a conversation.
Yeah, 100%. Kenya needs to be on that reunion. That is a huge opportunity that I hope Bravo and the powers that be take advantage of. Without a doubt, without question, Kenya should be on that reunion. We want to see what she has to say. We want to see her and Brit talk about that shit. We want to see her talk about it with the cast. There's no way that she should not be at this reunion, in my opinion. And they should not tease it. They shouldn't even put it in the trailer for that motherfucker. Just let her walk out in part whatever of the reunion and let them ladies do what they do. Kenya, if y'all are listening, Kenya Moore needs to come onto that reunion stage at some point, and I really hope it's not too late. I do.
I don't think she will. Not because they're not. I think they won't ask her because of maybe legalities. But I think I agree with both of you. I think it would actually offer us a great segue and opportunity to get her back on for next season. And for the people that say, "Oh, the ratings are not what they used to be, and they're slipping," and Phaedra, when she came back, did not bring the ratings they thought. Listen, things are different now. It's a different time with video on demand, right? But there's no way in the world that Kenya coming back to the reunion, let Kenya and Brit not touch each other, but have it out.
Yeah.
And resolve it in front of us. Have a moment of like Black girl magic where they hug it out. And guess what? It's set up for next year, and then we can see what it's going to be. Can you imagine? Like, it would actually give Brit a chance to be an actual housewife and have a story.
I just turned the comments on. Robin K. Miller, you shut the fuck up. Who is Robin K. Miller in the comments talking about Justin? Shut up. My name is Dustin. First of all, it's on the damn screen. So if you're gonna try to read some motherfucking body, the first thing you need to do is read your computer screen. My name ain't Justin. And it's motherfuckers like you. That's the reason I don't read the comments. So let me close this shit out. I'm trying to have a little fun with the audience and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like Claudia suggested. Engage more. I'll go over there. First thing I see is some motherfucker talking about Justin, shut up, in all lowercase letters. The motherfucker ain't even capitalized. You could at least capitalize my J. Now I gotta smoke a J when I get off this motherfucker because these ignorant ass motherfuckers in the comments. That's why I turn my shit off, because I'm not here for that. This ain't personal. This is just us offering commentary. Motherfucker, if you don't like what I'm saying, get the fuck out the live. Go somewhere where they talking the shit you want to hear. I can't stand these ignorant ass motherfuckers that talk that kind of shit on a computer behind some shit. When we up here trying to entertain motherfuckers, talk about some shit, encourage your dumb ass to think deeper about some shit, understand layers and context, motherfucker. We ain't up here to say some shit you like. I don't give a fuck about you or what you like. Fuck what you like.
Fuck you ain't no mama.
Fuck you. Hell yeah, fuck you. You telling me to shut up, you shut the fuck up. And that's exactly why I don't be in the comments. So let's just go on.
Don't come for my friend Justin in your mind.
That's why I don't even be in there, man. The one time I try to go have a little bit of fun, here we go. You know what I'm saying? With the ignorant shit. Let's go, man. Come on.
But how dumb is that bitch that you watch a show where you want that you want to shut up? And when I watch a show, I don't want the host to shut up. I want them to talk because that's
keep talking. That's why we up here. Because we
what kind of dumb hoe? Who is this hoe? In the
word to Kenya Moore. Who is this hoe? Word to Kenya Moore, man. That's exactly y'all motherfuckers like that on some G shit. They take the fun out of it. We can't even have no motherfucking fun talking about some shit. Black people on TV. something good, and here you come being ignorant because you don't like what I had to say. What the fuck did I say tonight about somebody that you don't like? I ain't even said nothing about nobody. So what the fuck? That's why I stay up out of there. As soon as I open the shit up, I see a motherfucker talking about Justin. Shut up. You shut the fuck up.
Oh, I be getting it every week. And they should not come for you because you gonna read them
like,
in a nice.
What? Come on, man. Let's just keep going. That's
Who
why I don't even be over there. I told God. That's why I don't
Y'all
be over
Aries are.
This is about Aries, right? We don't bother no one first. We don't. We're very honest. You ask our opinion, but usually if we have smoke for someone, they did something. And we like until it's like made right. It's like Cardi said, it's forever. And there was no need. Justin is here providing us working, actually. And you're here. You chose to be on this show where you know Justin Big D Energy will be, and you're dumb yourself. You are telling someone that you tune in for to shut up. How smart are you?
All right. So on that note, raindrops. Thank y'all so much for joining the live with Dustin, Claudia, and I.
Yeah,
we appreciate y'all.
Yeah, Justin, Carlos, Claudia. My name just now. I ain't even here. Tonight. It's somebody named just a nigga named Justin up here tonight.
No, Justin, it wasn't even you. They was telling the imaginary voice Justin in their head. I don't know because
they will have voices.
This is,
hey, Carlos, do you regret having 2 Aries on your show? Like, do we give you high blood pressure?
No. The thing is this. I agree with the both of you. At the end, what did I say? Social media killed the reality star because you can't even say anything, right, without people being offended by it. But I'll say this. It's the reason why I love Monday Night Live. I look forward to every Monday night. You never know what you're going to get. I have never seen Dustin. I have known Dustin for almost, I think, over 10 years.
No,
I have
Justin.
never. I've never seen Dustin. So I was like,
nah, man, we come up here, we have good times. We be trying to support motherfuckers, encourage people to watch these people on television, keep these businesses going, keep these people, you know what I'm saying, employed and in the part of the conversation. And here come a motherfucker that don't like what we said, talking about some shut up, Justin. If we was face to face, you would never say nothing like that to me.
No,
so that's why I stay out the comments. It ain't my business. I've been telling y'all that shit from day one. It's not even for me to be over there. I was just trying to have a little fun, get a little more interactive. As soon as I open this shit up, here come Flo.
Someone said they apologized. I'm trying to find the apology. Did they apologize?
It was somebody named Robin something. I seen that shit. It was somebody named Robin something.
Robin, be nice. Okay, I want y'all to always be nice. All right, Dustin, Claudia, thank y'all so much. Dustin,
thank you.
When can they see Justin on tour? Your alter ego, my love.
Right. Yo, so shout out to everybody who did leave positive comments. Everybody who's enjoying us up here, thank you for spending your time with us. We appreciate y'all so much, tremendously, and we love y'all, raindrops. You can see me on tour. Look at Dustin is my name on all social media platforms. All the information is there. You can go to DustinRossLive.com and get tickets. I'll see y'all in LA June 12th. And see you in Chicago, see you in Philly, see you in Houston, see you in Dallas, see you in DC, see you in Atlanta. We on our way. So pull up on us, y'all.
Should we have a meet and greet in DC since we'll all be together for your 21st show?
Claudia, what do you have going on, baby?
Who is this? Oh.
This has run amok. I got my vegan pizza, y'all. So I am going.
Carlos.
Since when did you give up the meat? Is this a new thing for him? Is he getting like rich and bougie?
Carlos is crazy.
Raindrops, I love y'all. I'm dropping an interview tomorrow, Tuesday.
Yes.
Maybe at 9 a.m. Maybe 10. I don't know.
I can't wait to see who.
Can we get a hint?
It's not a reality star, and it's an actress.
Okay.
An actress who's a friend of mine.
Looking forward to it.
Check me out my podcast, Accidentally Informed, on Wednesday. We've been doing some Diddy coverage. We've been getting people that have been in the trial coming through. We had Tisa Tales. We had Armand Wiggins come through giving us great commentary. Please come check it out.
Love Armand Wiggins.
Hell
Armand,
yeah.
first of all, I want
My
to say
boy.
this. Shout out to Armand Wiggins, who is covering the Diddy trial by being
Doing
inside of the court,
amazing.
doing a
Doing
courtroom.
killing it.
And I saw that he was with our friend Ebony K. Williams on TMZ.
Yes.
So Armand, happy Pride Month from your gay godfather.
He's about to be on Nancy Grace, TMZ, like everyone's
Oh
blowing him up.
yes, no, Armand is doing.
I always thought that you should have interviewed him as well. I think you should do an interview with him. I think it's.
I would love to talk to him. No, the thing is this: I will talk to Armand. And
Sorry to put
there's
you
a
on the
big-
spot like that. Sorry.
No, it's okay. No. Armand
Okay,
and
yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Armand and I had a DM exchange. Everyone knows I'm a fan of Armand Wiggins. I think I've said this numerous times. He's the future. He and I have had exchanges on the DMs. After my interview with Funky, I know that, and this is how I support people. I wanted him to monetize his own platform to address it. And that's the only reason why I didn't do it, because I wanted him to have his own platform to do so. But he and I,
like, it doesn't even have to.
Oh no.
Right?
No. I know a lot of people want it at that time because whatever.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I am a Armand Wiggins fan. I am proud of him, and to see what he's doing again is what I always tell you guys: follow your own path.
Hell yeah.
Don't try to be. Listen, I love a lot of stuff in this business, but Monday Night Live, Claudia doesn't know this. I like to keep it to the show and let's keep it pushing. But Armand is doing something that I think is super valuable to the community. He's funny. He's witty. And y'all all know this. I'm a fan of his. So congratulations to Armand Wiggins. You're doing excellent work, my dear.
He's a great storyteller.
And keep it up. And he's funny.
I like this lane for him the most, actually, going to trials. Like, he doesn't have a legal background, but going to trials and breaking it down for the common everyday person. I think it's a great space for him. I think it's a really good space for him. He should do more of that.
I fuck with Armand. I love him. We hung out in New York and had a motherfucking blast. That is my boy, and I'm so happy to see him doing his thing with this trial. I love to see it.
Yeah.
So do your thing, Armand, nigga.
He's doing good. He's doing good. Yep. All right, we'll see y'all next Monday. Claudia, Dustin,
and
aka
Justin.
Love y'all, Raindrop, the real ones.
Bye.